You know what I was thinking about this morning? This is going to be super random. You don't see any 1996 Toyota Tercels on the street anymore. Yeah, like those.
You mean the boxy ones?
It was like narrow in the front, turned into a huge box in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Everybody
I
know.
remember
Everyone
exactly
who's
what you're
listening,
talking
this
about.
makes it to the cut. You knows exactly what I'm talking about, and you don't see them. I was driving my daughter to school, and I saw it was like it was like a late '90s Mustang, and I was like, "Is that a Toyota Tercel?" No, that's it. And so I was like, I'm definitely gonna try to throw this into the intro today.
So you know what actually looked a lot like a Toyota Tercel of that, body shape was a Renault Alliance,
which never made it to the States, right?
which
Oh, really?
it actually did because I owned one. Yes. So AMC, American Motors Corporation, most
Right.
famously known for the Jeep, also owned Renault over in France. And so they brought some over.
I love the French cars, like the Renault and the Citroën, like the new ones. I think they're great. I think they have like amazing body lines, and I wish they would bring them here because I'm tired of looking at like SUVs on the road. Side note, there's a really funny, I saw this on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and then it popped up in my TikTok last night. It's an older Mazda Miata with the big round, in the grill, and the guy put a 360 cam off the front of it and has it driving, so it just looks like it's like, like you can't, if you go to youtube.com/@allthingsmsp, and it's really funny. And then because it has the headlights that open that pop up, so he has the headlight like blinking and stuff like that, and it just looks like it's smiling. Then like it's the funniest thing.
Does he have the eyelashes on the lights?
I'll have to double check the video. I'll send it to you later. Where are you? Channel with Channel Con, Channel Pros, Channel Con.
CompTIA Channel Con.
We need better marketing.
Well, there's
but the problem is they're all named Channel.
That's part of the problem.
You know who's going to win? The person who starts calling it a Channel Con, and then the next person who goes Channel Con, like the old yellow book trick.
Elevate your IT managed service provider business with SuperOps, the all-in-one platform that integrates RMM and PSA. Powered by AI-driven insights and automation, SuperOps helps you stay ahead, streamline operations, and boost efficiency. Are you ready for operational excellence? Find out more at atmsp.link/SuperOps.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All Things MSP Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Esgar. With me always is my good friend and traveling companion, Mr. Eric Anthony. Eric, you're not home, clearly, because you're at CompTIA's Channel Con.
Clearly.
Got it right this time. What's going on, man? Where are you? What's going on at Channel Con?
So Channel Con's been great. It's actually over as of today. And we've actually been staying next door in the Marriott because, I'm a Marriott guy. We've had that discussion before. And Kamala was actually here staying in this hotel the first day we were here. So there were Secret Service agents everywhere. But the thing that I thought was funny is that they didn't turn, how sometimes in elevators, especially in cities, you have to scan your room key to be able to press the button to get to your floor. Yeah, that was not turned on while she was here. But then like the day after she was here, it was turned on. So I don't know.
I wonder why. I wonder if that has something
weird.
to do with just like a quicker access to the certain floors or whatever. Also, I like that you call her Kamala, not Vice President Harris, as if like you're friends with this person.
Hey, she's the VP and she deserves all the respect of the office. And that's true. As political as we're going to get on this show. But back to Channel Con, lots of great content. As a vendor, I would say there's a lot of things that I would like to see changed. Now, some of that's impossible because, there's 174 vendors at this Channel Con, which is huge. It's probably one of the biggest trade show floors you'll ever see in this space, which I like because everybody has the same size booth. It's kind of an equity effect right across the board. But it's too much for MSPs to see everybody.
How many
And
of them?
so, I don't know. There's just some things that
will take care of your Office 365 license related companies, because I feel like 40%. Yeah,
there's quite a few. I don't know that it's 40% because 174, 40% would be like
that's what I'm
70.
thinking.
So, probably not. But, it's one of those things that a lot of companies, even if it's not their main focus, have added on to their stack. So some of the big players have it as well. So if you're counting all of those, yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, a lot of great content. I got to be on 2 panels while we were here.
Nice.
Awesome stuff. Got to talk about the MSP Guidebook. If you haven't seen the MSP Guidebook, it is a non-gated piece of content that CompTIA has put out. We had about 40 or 50 people contribute to that guidebook, and it has stuff from vendor management to employees to how to figure out what should be in your stack, stuff like that. It's kind of great stuff.
Are you confident your MSP clients are meeting their compliance requirements? With Compliance Scorecard, you can easily monitor, manage, and demonstrate compliance across all your clients with a single, intuitive dashboard. Don't leave your client's compliance to chance. Visit atmsp.link/compliance to get started and ensure your clients stay compliant with ease. That's atmsp.link/compliance. Compliance made simple.
Well, while you were away, rocking the ChannelCon, I have
thank you for holding down the fort.
Here. Even though you and I have different forts, and everybody who listens to this show knows that.
We have a virtual fort. It's like couch cushions and a blanket.
By the way, that episode of Community, if you've never seen this, there's a great show called Community, and they have an entire episode about the blanket versus the pillow forts, and it's one of the best episodes they've ever had. Side note. So yeah, I've been holding down the fort. We have been this week, we signed up with this SaaS-based compliance program that's going to help us get SOC 2 compliance. It's, for me, this ideal of getting compliant is going to be the differentiator. Talking about your vendors earlier, this is going to be the differentiator for us because there's not many Apple consultants who have SOC 2 compliance and have the stamp. There's plenty who may have used this particular piece of software or some of its competitors to like get along the path line, but to get that actual stamp, which it's a weird thing to get because in all fairness, it's an accounting measure, right? Like it's an accounting measure of data security,
right?
In reality. And so what's cool about this particular software, and I don't want to mention it because I'm not giving anybody free praise because there's other people who do the same thing here, but we integrate in with all of our tools and then it runs automated tests to find things. So one of the quickest things that I found, which was I thought was really, this is cool and also not cool. It uses an API key to call to our Cloudflare account, and it detected who doesn't have MFA on their Cloudflare accounts. But the weird thing is it associated the API key with my login. So it looked at all of the domains or all of the workspaces, whatever they call it in Cloudflare, that I am associated with. So I have a couple of clients that I'm associated with, and it flagged their accounts as not having 2FA, which, whilst good for me to be like, hey, Eric, you got to turn 2FA on your Cloudflare account. Oh, okay, great. It doesn't actually affect, it shouldn't affect our score because you're not part of our business or my client isn't part of my business because we're trying to get SOC 2 compliant for Virtua, right? So it's using the API key against my account that I have access to. So it's helping us a little bit, but also harming us in the same way. It's like a really weird system, but I do like it because it is allowing us to, one, find holes in our system that we wouldn't normally find. So, because we're going to talk about security here today, and this is like helping us secure our systems. And then obviously there's like the marketing aspect of being SOC 2 compliant or having a trust center that we can share with clients and show them like what we've accomplished. And like, it was cool to see that like within a week after integrating all of the tools that we use internally, that we have like 24 controls in place, which I don't know if that's a lot or not, because a friend of mine has the same system. He's got 110. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't understand where are we different here? But it's actually a really interesting way because I'm trying to prove to clients that we are secure. Because I think going into what we're talking about today, which we're going to talk about fractional CISO, you got to eat your own dog food. You got to prove that you're secure to be able to tell clients that you can secure them.
Well, it works on several different levels, right? It works from the risk level because, you know, there's so much more risk being the aggregator of all those services, of all those businesses. But then also there's the marketing aspect of it. You know, there's being able to show that you're secure. There's the whole liability aspect of, you know, you having something happen and people getting access to all of your clients. And then on top of that, you know, there's just the all around good advice that we've heard on airplanes for years. And that is put your mask on first.
I know what advice you were
start
going
helping
with
others.
Here. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's top of mind.
No, I get it. You're right? Like the idea of doing these things. One thing that does get me is this particular software that we have doesn't work right with the Google Workspace Skim because it uses Skim for all of its integrations. And it doesn't work right with the Google. It connects to Google Workspace. It recognizes Google Workspace, but like we use 1Password. And it will only connect to 1Password through Entra or Okta, Rippling, or OneLogin. It doesn't work with the Google Workspace Skim. And I'm like, that's a massive missing hole because, especially in the Apple world, because so many Apple consultants are Google-based that they can crush on this. So I do like this idea of us becoming compliant. It's something that I've thought about for a long time. I've thought about doing SOC 2 compliance, and I've gone to SOC 2 compliant companies before. However, it is massively expensive. It's a little intrusionally expensive. Like I got quotes from not from this software. This is like prior to the software. I got quotes that ranged from $35,000 to $50,000 a year, and you're supposed to do it yearly, right?
Yeah, because compliance is
this particular software is cheaper than that. I don't want to get into their pricing because I don't want to leak any information, but and then the audit is a separate price. So you can pay for this software as an MSP and pay, and you know, you can probably make a deal, pay yearly or quarterly or monthly, whatever you want to do, or become a partner or something like that. And then you pay for the audit every year. And the audit, once you have this stuff in place, because you're doing all the heavy work, when you're paying somebody $50,000, they're doing the work, then telling you to do what to do, and then checking your work. Here, you're doing all of that preliminary stuff yourself. And my team, what's really awesome is, I got to say, kudos to my team, because we're still finishing up our audits that we started back in June, right after ACES. And we're still finishing off a couple last pieces. And I was like, guys, guess what I just found? More audits. And they're like, we're okay with this one because this one doesn't seem as bad as some of the other crap that we've just had to deal with. But it's also allowing us, it's risk management, it's compliance, it's security, and it's allowing us to have a leg up. Because let's get into this fractional CISO thing. So I'm seeing this a lot more. A lot of MSPs are in their pitch decks, in their proposals, are touting fractional CISO. And I'm calling their bluff on it because I refuse to believe that maybe I'm wrong. And I have been in the past. You can ask my wife. But I refuse to believe that a 2 to 3 person MSP has done the necessary certifications or classwork to become an actual CISO to be able to provide fractional CISO. Like, we love to use the term fractional CTO because we know tech. We love to say fractional CISO because we know some of the security stuff. Even, true story, I had a client who, the person who was in charge of IT loved to call me to the other members on the team the chief information security officer. He used to call it chief sensitive data officer, and I was like, that's not a thing. And he's like, okay, chief information security officer, and then he just changed it to chief security officer. And I'm like, I'm not Worf from Star Trek. Like, pick a thing, and it would be cool, yeah.
But it would be cool.
And the reason he was doing this was because they happened to use a particular cloud file share product that had a really cool security and governance program. And I used to just maintain their sensitive data for them. I would be the one who was reaching out to staff members
Right.
being, hi, this document doesn't belong here. Can you delete it? Or can we scrub it? Or can we archive it? And I would stay on top of them about that stuff. And so I falsely had this title, which at the time, and this was 4 or 5 years ago, at the time I was like, oh yeah, I'm a fractional CISO. Sure, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And I would tell people that I could do this when in reality, like, no.
Yeah. Well, it falls in line with, what we've done in the industry in terms of virtual CIO, right? Because virtual CIOs are basically in most, I'm not going to say all, but in a lot of MSP organizations, are salespeople. They're literally just coming in and giving advice as to what the client needs to buy. And it's more sales driven than actual need driven in a lot of cases. And I think we run the risk of going the same direction with vCISO. I think that there's a lot that MSPs can do for their clients in terms of security, but like so many things, we don't have a bar set for what that actually means and what certifications, like you said, are required in order to say, I'm a virtual CIO or I'm a virtual CISO or I'm a virtual CTO. And I think as an industry, we need to get better at defining those things so that they become more trusted across the industry, because clients don't know, right? And it's the Wild West.
That's true. Not that I want to go off topic, but you know me. I think that's true of so many things that we have in this. Like, I as much as we love to talk about stack or managing things, I think that the idea of an MSP is still too Wild West in regards to that we all, including me, love to tout crap about who we think we are when in reality we're not. Like, as much as I love to say, like, I'm a fractional CTO, I'm still being like, hi, did you reboot your computer today? Oh, I got a black screen, reboot your computer. Oh, Outlook's not working, reboot your computer. So like, I'm still like a level 1 tech, like in all reality.
Well, because, in the CEO role of a mid-size MSP, you are still everything. Right? And so that's just the way it goes. You are still help desk, but you're also the CTO.
I wear many hats, but they all say virtual on them. Anyway, so let's go back to the seat. They are very nice hats.
And they're nice hats.
Heritage. I did have the street.
I have one.
I have to order more of those. So let's get back to the CISO thing. So I by the way, I upgraded my ChatGPT to the Teams plan, and then I lost all my old GPTs. So I'm trying to have ChatGPT relearn me, which is a pain in the ass. So I did ChatGPT 4.0, which is best for complex tasks, versus 4.0 mini, which I don't know why ChatGPT gives me options, but whatever. So when we were talking about CISO stuff, and I'm not the right, if you're listening, you know me well enough to know that I'm going to say, I'm not really the right person to talk about this because I'm not a CISO, but ChatGPT is, because I told her this. But I did want to like look further into, because the idea of what that client used to call me, that idea of we're trying to secure our own stuff at Virtua and trying to become compliant, which is a lot of part of that security part of it. Because again, SOC 2 compliance is about data security more than anything else. So I threw into ChatGPT. I said, hey, I want to be a vCISO. What training courses can I take? And actually, one of yours showed up, not ATMSP, but CompTIA's. So I'll get to that one. So it gave me to use Coursera and edX. There's a introduction to cybersecurity from Coursera and cybersecurity fundamentals of RIT from edX. edX, Coursera, simple to do, easy to follow. You can do that. You can get your ISC squared certified information system security professional. So that's CISP.
CISSP.
And then you can get your certified information security manager, which is CSIM, which is offered by the ISACA. These guys, we have to stop with acronyms. This is ridiculous.
So It's funny because my wife is traveling with me this week, and that was one of her comments as well. Is like we have way too many acronyms. Yeah,
too many
acronyms for
TLAs.
everything, and it
too many
just
TLAs,
is
3-letter
confusing.
acronyms. And the last one that's on this list, and this is yours, CompTIA Security Plus certification, a beginner-friendly certification that covers essential security concepts, network security, compliance, and operational security. And you can get your CompTIA Security Plus training. It's available online through platforms like LinkedIn Learning and Udemy. Thanks, ChatGPT. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Because I specifically had said, what's easy training for a small MSP, let's say no more than 3 team members, to do that can cover about 80%. And a lot of this really is, excuse me, understanding the foundations of cybersecurity, understanding risk management compliance. So understanding what the difference is between a SOC 1, a SOC 2, a SOC 3, a SOC 2 type 1, a SOC 2 type 2, HIPAA, ISO 27001, ISO 9001. Yeah. That's only 5 of like the 47 compliance modules that I found. Understanding, this is a big one, is understanding response and threat management. Knowing how to write an IRP is a major part, I think, of being a CISO. And then obviously there's securities. And then the best one that it came up with was soft skills, communication and leadership, which we've talked about this before. Most IT people are introverts. Communication is a hard thing for them. You need to be able to get past that in order to be able to tell the people that you're a CISO. But
well, yeah, because most of the cybersecurity issues are soft, right? Because it's the people.
It's always the people.
It's those weird fleshy things between
I was going to say
the chair and the keyboard
for you,
that cause all the problems. Yep. So, that's why soft skills are so important in this, is because all of those tools, all of those practices, all of those firewalls, all of the governance that you put in place aren't going to do any good unless the people actually follow them. And the only way they're going to follow them is
that's actually one of the other things, going back to what we were talking about earlier about the software that I found that we're using for our SOC 2. One of the first things it makes us do is write out all of these compliance policies, not just HR, but cybersecurity, cryptography, security, a bunch of others, right? And if you're not an admin admitted to the team, you're an employee of the team. In order to log in to do anything, you have to sign off on all of those documents. So what happens is we build all these documents. That means whoever's coming into our company, like our newest guy, Donovan, for example, he's going to sign into this software and it's going to say, "Hi, Donovan, before you go any further, you need to look and read these policies and agree to them and basically sign off on them. And then you can get into the software to do the things that you have been tasked to do, because we're assigning people certain things to handle." And I think that makes it so much easier, because that concept of signing off on a handbook that you should have in a business falls right into this. And it's the same thing with the security thing, because then if someone says, "Well, I didn't know," you can go, "Well, it's in the handbook, and you read not to go to the hub.com on your work computer, even if it's off hours because you're working from home." Those are the kinds of things. And you're right. You could put enterprise threat level risk management firewall 7.0 in place with dual power supply and redundancy and backups and hot spares. It doesn't matter, because, Jimbo's an idiot. Who cares?
Yes. So, yeah. And there's so much to it. And one of the things I want to point out, because being a vCISO sounds so formal, right? And so I think there's a lot of times because there's a lot of imposter syndrome in this industry. That, I know that, because we've both suffered from it. And for those of you who feel that way about this, you don't have to be a vCISO or a CISO to do the right things for your client. You can just simply take some of this training so that you have the knowledge. pick a framework so you have a framework that you're working from. Work through it with your company and then start working through it with your clients. Doing what's best for your clients doesn't necessarily mean adhering to a title, right? It's just doing the right things by your clients. And, different clients are going to need different things. You're going to have doctors' offices who need HIPAA. You're going to have retail establishments that need PCI DSS. You're going to have federal contractors that need CMMC. And those are all different and have different requirements. However, most of them are based on the major frameworks, CIS, NIST, et cetera. And so if you follow one of those, you're going to be most of the way there already. And so start there.
I like that. I was, what I was saying, you were saying like, you don't need the title. I think we can wrap this up with a line from Clerks. Titles don't dictate behavior.
That's true. That's true. And just because somebody says they're a vCISO doesn't. It's better to have the actual training and the knowledge and the right tools. And then you can start marketing yourself as a vCISO, but do the right things first and then get the title rather than just putting the title on your website and then start doing things, because that'll get you in trouble. I mean, it's like, remember the lawsuit where the MSP said, we take care of all your IT, and they didn't. And the customer got breached. They got sued and they lost.
Contracts are important. Go listen to our episode about Bregress. Get your training. There's a couple of other, I'm just going to throw out a couple other trainings just before we wrap up, because there's some more. So we talked about the online course certification. There's some specialized training that ChatGPT pulled up for us. There's the SANS Institute, offering a wide range of courses in cybersecurity, such as MGT 514, which I'm assuming is management 514, security, strategic planning, policy, and leadership. That sounds very cool. I would love to take that. Pluralsight has courses on Intro to Cybersecurity, network security fundamentals. And then, of course, there's industry webinars and workshops and things like that. And then here's some books if you're a book person. The CISO Handbook, a practical guide to securing your company by Michael Gentile. Okay. And Cybersecurity and Cyber War, What Everyone Needs to Know by P.W. Singer and Alan Friedman. There's so much out there. I've talked about this, and actually I talk about this in my presentation about imposter syndrome from Mac Admins, which is if you're not constantly learning and training and trying to find new things to learn, you're not gonna make it in this industry, right? You can't rely on your laurels of being able to like get licenses from PAX 8 faster than the next person. Like that's not going to cut it. And if you're going to bring clients into a modern day architecture, you have to know and understand some of these core. And even if you don't know it, that's fine. Know someone who does, right? So for example, I don't know NIST. I mean, I know of it. I know some of the rules and I know some of the things because we're trying to learn it for the Mac security compliance program. But in reality, like I'm not NIST certified. I'm not capable of like giving out a NIST score, but I've partnered with a cybersecurity firm that I got through Toloris who is doing that for my clients. And they're giving us the NIST framework. This is actually really cool. One of my clients is going through a NIST assessment right now. When that NIST assessment is done, they're going to give us the framework of things we can do because Adigy, our mobile device management for Macs, has benchmarking tools built into it so we can tell if a computer is in compliance or not. That whole thing is me being a CISO without me being a CISO, right? Because even if I don't know it, I know enough to get myself in trouble, but I know enough to get the right people. I know enough to get the computers in compliance. And I know enough to be able to watch a thing that says this computer is not in compliance and I can go fix it because maybe somebody turned something on that they shouldn't or whatever it is. That's what being a CISO is, because a person did something wrong, like we said earlier. And I know enough about cybersecurity. So if you're thinking about adding vCISO to your stack, learn about it, understand it, pick a framework. I would say NIST 2.0, since I think CIS is being like merged into it or something like that, right? Okay. Pick a framework like that. Pick a framework for your own compliancy, whether that's going to be SOC 2, ISO 27001, NIST, or CIS for yourself. Go through it yourself. Make my argument of being SOC 2 compliant being a differentiator a null argument and go get it. there are ways to do it because you'll learn a lot about cybersecurity doing it yourself. And you can then turn that around on your clients and say, hey, we've done it. We can get through it and we can teach you how to do it. Understand what an IRP is and how it's really written. Understand a BDCR. All those things that we require as MSPs from our vendors. Like I go to my cloud file share contacts and I say, hey, I want your SOC 2 report, BDCR, IRP, ICP, PWNP, PQRST, whatever it is.
Okay, you're burying me in TLAs again.
Stuff up now. I need your Elmos. I need your Cookie Monsters. But those things, we should do that. Yeah.
And if all of that sounds too intimidating, or you get into this and you start going, I don't really like this cybersecurity stuff, there are plenty of people to partner with out there. And speaking of getting in trouble, because you said something about getting in trouble earlier, I'm sure that Tim Golden is going to have some advice for us in terms of what we got wrong in this episode. And I just want to give him a shout out because Tim, obviously Compliance Scorecard is a sponsor of All Things MSP, but they're also a great resource when it comes to compliance and helping you maintain governance. In fact, we just did an interview with Tim not that long ago. So check that out. And obviously check out Compliance Scorecard as well, because, I know there's a lot of solutions out there right now and new ones showing up every day. But Tim and his crew really care about the community. And so that's one of the things you should definitely check out if you're more interested in the process and paperwork side of getting compliant and staying.
Tim, thanks for sponsoring. Also, I look forward to your tweets and emails about everything I've gotten wrong in this episode. Eric, anything else before we sign off and you fly home?
No, I just want to get out of this hotel room before the traffic gets bad because there's a former president coming into town.
You say you want to leave. You don't need reasons. We're not becoming political. We've become awfully political the last couple episodes. We need to stop doing that. We're sorry. We'll try better next time. We'll do better next time. That's the line. We'll do another next time. Well, get home safe, my friend. For everyone who's listening, check us out, facebook.com/groups/all things MSP. Sorry. We're recording this at a different time and my brain isn't in the right mode. So I have to think about things. Facebook.com/groups/all things MSP. That's it. Check us out and watch how my brain just flipped out on me at youtube.com/@allthingsMSP. Follow us on all of your podcasting tools. We're now on iHeartRadio podcast. Check that out. That'd be kind of awesome. Leave a review somewhere. We just want to know that you're there. Please tell us, are you there? Is there anyone like Johnny Carson? Are you testing? Is this thing on? Anyone out there? That's Eric.
Because if you don't, we're going to have to turn this into an ASMR channel.
That's another TLA I don't need to get into. That's Eric. I'm Justin. Bye.
Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Facebook, but better yet, go ahead and join the Facebook group. You can also follow us on Instagram if that's your thing. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at All Things MSP to catch us in all of our video glory. And last but certainly not least, if LinkedIn is your thing, you can follow us there as well. And a special thank you to our premier sponsors, SuperOps, MoveBot, Gozinta, EasyDmark, and Comtech. And we also want to thank our vendor sponsors. The All Things MSP Podcast is a BizPow LLC production.